All right, aloha friends. Brian Goss with GM Sports Media, powered by Grey Wolf Promotions. This is Game Time with the Goss, and my guest today is Joshua football coach Danny Dearman. His Owls coming off 23-21 victory against Midlothian in the district opener, triple overtime. Big win for Danny and the Owls there. Danny, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right. We can only do so much looking at the box score if we're not there. Help us paint a picture against Midlothian and take me through some of those overtime periods and ultimately the game clinching play.
Well, you know, in regulation, the four quarters, we had the ball with about a minute and 40, a minute and 50 left, and we're running the clock out, and we got down to 59 seconds, and we put the ball on the ground. They recovered it and went down and scored, and that's what put us in overtime. So we had a chance to close the game out and not have to go to overtime. So we go to overtime and um, we win the toss. So we elect to play defense. They go out and the their offense goes to I don't know 10. They can make it to about the 10-yard line, fourth down, and they kick field goal, and we block the field goal. Our offense goes out there and they force us into a field goal. We miss it wide left. Going to a second overtime, um, we start off with the ball, force us into a field goal. They block our field goal. They go out there. We force them into a field goal, and they miss it wide left. Go to the third overtime, and which I've never been into three overtimes before, so that was new. So it's 2 point conversions, and they have to start off with the ball. They throw a pass, and it's incomplete. And then our offense goes out there, and uh, we run a little fullback belly, and kid runs right through. He has to uh, fight off one defender, but he makes it clean and scores a touchdown.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just going to ask in your coaching or playing career that's sounds it's the longest overtime game you've been a part of.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I wasn't positive when we got to the third overtime if it was 2 point conversions or if it was another regular
All right.
series from the 25. So, and the referees, I mean, we were all out there like going back and forth, and finally came to the decision it was 2 point conversion. So, it was different, man. But man, it was so exciting. It was great for. I mean, it was great for me. It was the biggest win of my career. But more than that, it was great for our kids, our coaching staff, and our community. Joshua needed that win just to just kind of separate and proof in the pudding of the culture is changing. So it was big. It was big for us.
Yeah, can you talk about winning a game like that, especially on their home turf? You don't want to you're back to work and getting ready for Tyler this week, but just to win something like that moving forward and try to win as many more games as possible and possibly clinch a playoff berth, just talk about sort of that motivation with this win.
I was just having this conversation. You don't you don't really get to enjoy that win. It'll be after the season before we're able to sit back and and enjoy it, but it won't have the same feeling as if we sat around all weekend and talked about it and was just living in the moment because game ended and my conversation with the kids was Tyler's on the clock. You know, enjoy it tonight, but we got a big game coming up, and and we got a chance to do something special. And the only way that happens is if uh, we focus on the next team. And so I don't really. I'm not sure that the big win is going to affect us um, in a bad way, just because we went right back to work. I think we worked longer this weekend than we did in the previous weekends. Monday's practice was probably our best Monday practice that we've had. It was physical um, and we went a little bit longer than we normally do, and it was the kids have responded very well to the success of winning that game.
I remember last time you were on, we talked about just changing the football culture there, Joshua. Can you talk about that again and just kind of what you and your coaching staff were trying to do to bring back sort of a winning culture there?
Yeah, I believe that you change the culture um, every single day, and I think that having a big off season, I think that's huge. The off season's got to be tough, and I think what we do is as tough as anybody in the country. And I think that trying to trying to have a tough off season and build a tough mentality along with stacking wins through the off season, I think that helps build the culture of it doesn't matter who we're playing. What matters is what we're doing and how we're doing it. And then just trying to create a family and a brotherhood of guys, players, and coaches that are out there, not doing it for selfish gains, but doing it for the man next to them. And it's it's really been a big key of keeping core coaches here with me, and I think that's been a huge part of the success that we've had is just preaching the same thing all the time and having the same mentality and it not being coming from one person that's preaching it. It's the entire staff, and the kids are hearing consistently that we believe in our core values: family, integrity, selfless, and toughness, and just that being a constant every single day. And now you're on year 5 of the kids just it's over and over and over. So when we get into situations like we were in Friday night, um, you know, it is new for us, but the kids aren't wide eyed and scared and nervous. You know, everybody starts rallying together, and I think that's really been the key for us.
You opened up the season with the loss against a very good Springtown team who's now in the state rankings by Dave Campbell's, and then have reeled off the last three wins. What were some learning points you used from that loss against Springtown for these last three games, and what have you seen successfully on both sides of the ball?
Well, you know, it was very disappointing that we lost that first one, but Springtown was really really good. I think they'd be competitive um, in 5A. I think they'd be competitive in probably most 6A districts. And you know, going into the game, we had a ton of kids that have never played varsity football. Our starting offensive line, there's 2 kids returning. The other 3 were JV football players. Um, so no matter how hard you practice of trying to create that tempo and physicality that's going to be in a game, you can't teach that. They've got to go through it, and I think that was one of the pieces of that game is we had guys that they had never played with that type of speed and or against that type of speed, and I think it was fast for them. And but there were things during that game that were good, and I kept rewatching it and saying, we're better, but you just can't see it. And then and that happened in the scrimmage, like the very first scrimmage against Ranchview. I saw some things and I thought, man, we haven't really put it together, but it's there. And then we got a little bit better against Burleson, and it was the same thing. We come back and say, man, it's it's almost, it's we're close. And then Springtown, you have a loss, and instead of us going backwards, we tried to build off the good things that were happening and the adjustments that we were making, and the things that we saw. That was new for us. Even not just the kids, but as coaches, the way they played us, we hadn't seen that, weren't expecting it, and so we just tried to build off of it. And then each week it has been a little bit better. And finally, this game, that's the first time that we've played all three phases of the game. We finally look like a football team, and I think it's just been a course of building off the week before, and trying to grow and get a little bit better at what we're doing. And it paid off. Friday night, um, like I said, all three phases of the game, uh, we had a 51-yard punt. Um, we blocked a field goal. Defensively, we held them to 170 yards under their average. Offensively, we threw a touchdown pass. We were 6 of 10. Didn't throw for a ton of yards, but we threw the ball a whole lot better. And then we did a good job on kick return and kick off. We finally just, we put all three phases together, and that's the only way they're able to beat good football teams.
Again, here in week 6, you guys host Tyler Friday night. Just talk about the matchup there with them and what's it going to take to get another win.
They are explosive. I think that everybody in the state saw that this past Friday with their game with Highland Park. Um, they're good. So our objective is to play solid defense and not give up the big play, and then to control the ball. We've got to march the ball down the field. We got to control the clock and keep their offense off the field. And I think that if we do that, I think we'll be successful. It's last year when we played them, I think we had 39 snaps on defense, which that's what you want. We just couldn't keep the big play from happening, and that's all that it took for them is a couple big plays, and then all of a sudden they're rolling. And so we've got to keep the big play from happening, and we got to keep their offense off the field.
All right, Danny. Well, I appreciate the time as always. Always good talking to you, and wish you the best of luck here this week against Tyler and the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, man. It was great to hear from you.
And congratulations on your Owls winning our GM Sports Media DFW Football Team of the Week. So thanks to your
Awesome. Awesome.
community
Thank you
for voting.
again.
So,
That's awesome. I appreciate it.
all right, that's Joshua head coach Danny Dearman again hosting Tyler on Friday night. Go check him out. And that'll be another episode of Game Time with the Goss. We're powered by Grey Wolf Promotions. I'm Brian Gossett with GM Sports Media, and until next time, we'll see you on the next episode.